Guys, hello and welcome to Skycurser Daily number 57, where it is our goal to be a better indie dev today than we were yesterday. And today we are picking up on daily number 57, where we left off from daily number 56, which includes fixing the bug with the dire pebs not showing up as the last peb of the stream. That will be the main focus initially, and we've got a lot of other things on the plate, especially that we've recorded that are coming due here. We've got a lot of deadlines coming up. So glad that you're joining us. CTXCB, what up? Good to see you, man. And so that's it. That's our stream for today. So here we go. Let's go ahead and hit play as soon as we make sure we're going to level 2, and we'll just watch the playthrough for a minute and we can identify the bug together. And I know where to pick up, and I know exactly what I want to do to fix it. Spent a little bit of time yesterday trying to think through how I would fix this, so we're going to do that. How do I find somebody to create an engine for me? What exactly, CTXCB, are you wanting to get an engine created for? For your game, or looks like dev mod is broken for a minute, so I'll fix dev mod in a minute. Just waiting for this first compile. See if I can fix dev mod real quick. Oh no, DevBot released an update that is somewhat broken. Or I should say AnkBot. Alright, here we go. Watching the playthrough. So, we'll see in a minute. The pebs will come out. The first set of pebs do not have a dire peb, but any set after that will have a dire peb. And they do not show up as the last peb in the stream. Well, I guess they show up as the last two. That is incorrect. We only want one per stream. So we're going to fix that. Okay. So I might need to turn off mod for today, unfortunately. Just see what we got going here. Let's try turning it off first, and then tried text adventure engines online, but none of them have the right kind of functionality I need. They're either overcomplicated or too simple, and they all require you to run them in their own player, and really, they're ugly. Man, that's a hard one, dude, because let's see if we can get mod working. Let me try something real quick. Yeah, I was just going to turn off mod. We've got mod is actually a bot that we pulled into the room, and I think I even just typed the wrong commands. Let's see if he's working now. Yep, it's broken. So mod is actually onkbot R2. You can look that up online. It's a really nice mod. But looks like we're having some issues today, and I did just run an update, so I don't think there's a lot more we can do to try to fix him, unfortunately. Trying this one more time. Deepbot. I haven't heard of Deepbot. I really like Onkbot. I'll have to look at Deepbot. I did a lot of research for a lot of different bots, and this one is baller bot, I would say. So yeah, text adventure engines. That's a good one, man. It's a good question. I think you're probably going to have to end up paying to get something like that, or use an overcomplicated engine so it does what you need it to do. Or build it yourself as one possibility, but that can be very time consuming and take a lot of your time that you're trying to do other things with, you know. So I think, guys, for now I'm going to try to turn off. I'm going to run one more try. I think we're broken here, so okay, cool. We'll just kill Onkbot. Bye. Okay, so we saw the bug. I strongly believe the bug is related to just kind of the flow, how we're building the PEBs that come out on stream, and I'm going to show you our stack real quick for the call to the PEBs. I'm waiting for my notes to come up here. Here they are. And I'm going to pull them over here in just a second so everybody can see them. Here we go. So here's my notes on the script, and this is our stack, or the way that the program accesses the call to enemy 3 script. We go through the story point builder, and then we also look at the generator helper and determine whether or not we can generate a specific enemy. At that time, we assign it to a specific alarm. The alarm does the counting. Then we pass it off to another checker that determines how many we can create at that for that particular group. And then we hit an object enemy 3 helper. Yeah, actually this guy, this group max is inside of can generate. And we hit object enemy 3 helper as a way to pass variables that can't be passed into an alarm. You can technically assign variables to the overall object, the specific enemy generator controller, but we're trying to create multiple of these and have these be helpers and then destroy themselves as we create enemy 3. And then we create enemy 3 spawn and then generate. So we basically determine where the unit is going to spawn at, and then we actually do the generating. And I think we have another one in here, script enemy 3 path. So then we send it on its way. So that's kind of how that works. And what I think we need to do is modify the way that this guy right here works so that we can pass some very specific things over to object enemy 3 helper. So that's kind of going to be where I spend my time initially, and we'll do some testing here and make sure we've got it once I think it's complete. So of course we're looking at multi-level enemies under controllers, and we've got enemy 3 gen helper, group max, and a couple of other helpers in here. We also have this group here of just straight up enemy scripts versus controller scripts, and we have enemy 3 which we can find here that has a couple more items. So I think the main problem right now is inside of can generate, and I think we are basically needing one more variable that can get passed over with the current alarm, that can pass the value of what count number we are on for this particular argument or this particular enemy 3. So that's what I'm going to focus on for a minute, and let's do that. So I think alarm to current counter. So let's create a variable up here. Variable current counter. This is just gonna be a holder, and we will set current enemy 3 counter equal to arg0.alarm to current counter, and basically I am going to go ahead and set this to the parent or the controller generator. Best I found is Inform 7, but it's still weird how it works. Are links blocked? I want you to see the confusing way it works from a screenshot. No, they're not blocked. Okay, so current enemy 3 counter is there. We're going to update right here. And we're just going to, basically what we're trying to do here is pass this into the object enemy 3 helper, so the object enemy 3 helper has a snapshot of the exact counter we're on. Because what I think is happening is when the next enemy gets generated, this counter is happening too soon. So I'm trying to snapshot through this variable right here what the current number is, and I got to make sure that these are updated to the appropriate counters as well. But nonetheless, they're all going to go into current enemy 3 counter, and it's just going to be snapshotted and handed off to the object helper. So this is where I'm going to add that. Enemy 3 helper is going to have current enemy 3 counter equals arg, and make sure I do this correctly. I guess the good thing about making a text game is that you can make a lot of progress in planning without the engine. Maybe you could use that as leverage to get people interested. Just a thought. Good idea, Chris. Alright, current enemy counter is going to be right there. I gotta make sure that this variable is set and passed inside of that object, which I have enemy objects here, and I have an enemy 3 helper object right here. That is the thing that basically spawns the enemy 3 when it's time. So we'll set it to 0 initially, and in this step event, when we actually end up passing it, we'll end up calling this guy and make sure he gets handed off to the spawn. So let me make sure this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The 4th argument. It's actually the 5th, but it's a 0 index. So let's go look at script enemy 3 spawn, which is right here. And we've got, like I said, a 4th argument. And we'll take it right here. Okay, and then we will, let's see what we are at here. Okay, so we're going to pass it all the way through here. Yes, another variable in this. At some point here, we're not hitting any limits yet on this. This is kind of crazy, but when you hit 16 parameters is when you need to end up passing a list. We're not hitting that yet. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the 9th parameter. Hate doing that, but I think this is going to be the correct way to get this done. So it then calls generate, and we've got the 9th parameter being passed. So let's collect it right here. It's technically already in here, but I like to grab them by just making it a little bit of shorthand. Are we potentially setting a variable here that's unnecessary? Maybe, but if we use it a lot, it's helpful to just make it shorthand. Otherwise, when you're just looking at like this whole long string, it gets a little bit daunting when you're looking at your code. So this is the enemy 3 current counter. I'll say it like the way that we have it written. Oops. Current enemy 3 counter. So that's how it actually is. So argument 9, I think instead of doing alarm 2 current counter, we will instead look at argument 9. So this would be gone. So let's do this, since this is a huge line that I don't want to have to retype if this for some reason doesn't work. Let's go put it here and just comment it out for a minute so that we can pull it back in if we need to. Argument 9 though will be the exact shot of what that particular one is, which should match up correctly with this. Same thing here, we gotta make sure it's called correctly here. And I think when we do this, we're still going to have a few modifications to make, but I think it's actually going to work as expected as opposed to having some unexpected behavior. The fact that we've captured what the very specific number should be here should like squelch all the bugs that we had by just simply calling current counter on the enemy object. Because I think what the problem was is this was incrementing by the time it hit here at some point in the code, and that was our main problem. So now we've passed it again through to script enemy 3 path, and so we've got script enemy 3 path. The last thing we have to do is pull it in here. Argument 4 equals current enemy 3 counter. 3 counter. Just weird how it works with no code. So I missed a couple things here. Nice. Okay. Let me just click and see what we got. Oh, that's cool. That's really cool. No code, just textual commands. Such weird, much confusing. A lot of people want to work on their own stuff, or they're just really lazy and unreliable. Really, I don't need to get people interested yet. I'm doing all the writing myself. I mean, to say about the game engine, to get programmers interested. Like, if you have content to share, it may pique their interest. I'll probably go with Inform 7. It's been used since the 1980s. Wow. At version 7 now. Originally it was made for Infocom's Zork series. Doesn't look too bad. Nothing that would kill the experience for the player, at least. It's just weird how it works with no code, yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man. I want to see... because I bet this will basically... I think what you're doing here is just setting it up, and it will then play through after you've got it all set up, if I'm seeing this correctly, if I'm understanding it correctly. Nice, man. That's awesome. arg4 equals argument 4. And so instead of looking at this, which again I think is faulty, just look at arg4. Go arg4 all the way down. Boom. That may work. Okay, now, like I said, I think we're going to have some updates to make. I'm going to just see if it's going to work right out of the gate. But let us see. So, arg0. Why is this a problem? Oh, var. If I'm setting it to the enemy generator object, I don't need to declare var in front of it, because it's not a local variable, it's an object property. Okay, so we're just waiting for it to load. Oop, got a bug. Let's figure this bug out. Current enemy 3 helper. Copy. I think I just wrote down the wrong variable name, so let's just fix this real quick. And this is inside of gen helper. Script enemy 3 gen helper. Ah, that's the problem. I've named it incorrectly. It needs to be current enemy 3 counter. So let's go to that helper. Accident. I think I probably saw that I was looking at helper and talking about helper, that I just went ahead and typed it. Try again. Missed the Zork thing. Zork was awesome. And I don't know if I saw much of the Zork stuff. Come on, work with me, Game Maker. Alright, looking good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Looks right. Boom! What? First try. Come on. You can't hold me back, Game Maker. You gotta try harder than that. Well, I'm not sure what happened to that explosion. That explosion may need to go through the depth engine. Yeah, got it, bro. Got it. Yo, Alec Roberts, what's up? Alright. Boom. Nailed it. First try, guys. After I fixed that bug, but that was just an accidental type. Didn't have to spend a lot of time on that. That's good. Alright. Take me to drive. Give me a second, guys. Alright, here we go. Alright. Chris, you're here, man. Tell me, okay, first off, since you're here, we can just kind of have a discussion about what we should do next. I'll pull up the Trello board here. And, okay, so we got some priorities listed here. We did fix the PEB bug, so let me make sure. PEB's on level 1, needs spaced out. I'll fix that. Dire PEB out of order. Got that one working. I need to check that off of level 2. Depth for PEBs. Okay, FEBs. Too good. Helis. Okay, make dire PEB have quite a bit more health. Twitch on mobile is a mess, at least from my experience. Trying to figure out this stupid mobile Twitch app. Yes, dude. Yeah, let's drop. Okay, so you already mentioned what to work on. Should be low work, big impact. Trying to figure out stupid mobile Twitch app. Okay, cool. Let's do that. We did squash this bug. I guess I took it out of here. I thought I had it in 2 places, so that's good that I only had it in 1 place. All right. Yeah, let's fix this background so that we can get an update on level 1. Looking for the sprites, backgrounds, stage 1. We're talking sunset section, and I'm looking at 615 back sky update. Is that correct? I think that's where everything is at, and it's just the backdrop of the sky. Okay, let's hope this hits it nice. All right, just let me download it. Okay, got the download, and let's go ahead and update. Sprite, background. We're looking at level 1, background group 1, and we're talking about the main background here. Let me look at my controller so I can make sure I get the correct one. It's a little bit hard to tell just from looking at the sprites. So rooms, base controller. We need to find the background controller.
Oh my gosh. You're very lucky. I'm very happy you're okay. Any other questions?
Background level 2. Room controls. Oh, I'm in scripts. That's why I can't find it. Here we go. Rooms. Backgrounds. Backgrounds level 1. And I know I've got this written down in here. So we've got the very big background, layer 6. And then that's the background loop. Okay. So all you got to do is swap out layer 6 with what we just downloaded. Here we go. Edit. Load. Desktop. Okay. Boom. Done. It's just the one, right, Chris? That's the one, man. Alright. So we got it. Let's update the room controls script to go straight to level 1 so we can view it. Okay, cool. Level 1, hit play. Alright. Okay, just waiting for the compile. Oh wow, that's amazingly different. Also, Chris, the loop may need then to be updated. I'm not sure, because the loop that we have on there, if I let this go long enough, it might just start looping with the wrong stuff. Wow, that looks way different. Got to fix this bug in the background where the sun reflection layer is just in the wrong spot. I've got that written down as a bug to fix. Boom. I'll read what you're saying in just a minute. So I'm noticing there's a bug on the boss, which is mainly that the boss blinks too frequently. And so I'm gonna have to fix that. I'll write it down. It's not a top priority right now. Yeah, I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Mission complete. Mission 1, Death at Dusk. Go!
Okay, so that's that. Also, if I didn't already write it down on level 2, I think the HUD is not displaying at all, and I need to make sure that gets down. I almost forgot about that. HUD, where is it? And boss on level 1. Boss flashes too frequently. I know I've got the code in there to prevent that. I'm not sure why he's flashing too frequently. I'll have to do some debugging on it. Oops, adding to the wrong place. Make sure I got that right on level 2. Yeah, cool. Alright, what we got here? I met Alec Roberts at the Louisville Arcade Expo way earlier this year. He got to play earlier build of the game there. Sweet, dude. I didn't know that. Invited him to join the stream. He knows what's up with the shmups. You probably make it scroll even faster now since the backdrop loops so quickly. Oh, so literally the backdrop, Chris, let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. This backdrop literally just loops the 6 backdrop, the layer 6. Have you thought of allowing sprites to pass over the HUD? HUD is getting major overhaul. Too much right now. Agreed. Some of the screenshots I sent you earlier of the updated HUD. I see. Monitor showing the pilot will only come in at certain times with the update. Will there be a Justin Bailey mode? Awesome.
That's my cousin's name.
Is it?
Justin Bailey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What does that mean?
I don't know. It's a game reference. Okay, so we're good there. I think, though, Chris, I'm not sure you're at your machine at the moment. You're saying that the backdrop I just updated loops on level 1. Yeah, the new backdrop loops on its own. Sweet. Okay, so that will require some work. I'm going to put that on a checklist of work since it's not technically a bug. Update the background to make sure it loops at part 1 of level 1, and remove the loop background. Additional in-between graphics needed. Sweet. Everything I'll do from now on will loop. It just makes things easier. Agreed. 100%. Okay, tight. Alright, so we got that basically updated. Let me see what I want to squash here. Let me just look at my list of items here. I think probably the thing that's going to be, let's just look at our priorities here. Background for level 1, just first section for now. And remove background level 1 loop. Part 1 level 1. Pull this guy up. I'll do that in a minute. HUD update, no bank on the supers, POW goes away, 25 kills each weapon. Level 2 background bridge, dock, scripting, katana, and projectiles. Random question, how many colors does this game use? Are you limiting yourself to certain hardware color palette or just using any color? We were thinking about adding Sammy the dog, controlling dog mech is optional. Player 2, all sprites are limited to 16 colors per sprite. Yeah, bro, it is 16-bit, basically, per sprite. So let's start with fixing the katana projectiles. One bug. I know of a bug that I need to make sure is in here if it's not already. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool. All right. I think I can remove some of these messages, and I think I'm going to do that right now really quick. So give me just a second, guys, while I update some of my scripts to remove some debug messaging. Okay, let's try search one more time. Gone. Good. Alright, so we cleared up that. And then let's see exactly why the... I gotta check and see if the EBP missile does the weird thing when you shoot it with the mini blast bullet, or if it's just the boss's orb.
Skycurser. Mission 1. Death Dogs. Go.
So what I'm checking right now, guys, is I'm trying to figure out one of my bugs. If the bug is caused in multiple places or just with the boss. I'm waiting for the eyeball planes to come on screen, these guys right here. And I wanted to shoot, yeah, see if I shoot them, there's a collision that happens. The bullets are not supposed to connect with that. The bullets are literally supposed to, oh, that was tight. The bullets are supposed to go through the EBP missile, and they're not supposed to cause basically that impact. And so that's what I'm working on fixing right now as a bug. So here we go. This is going to be in the collision script, and script weapon should connect. I have to look at that, because that might just do my, that might fix it right there. So this definitely does work right here. The problem is this katana deflection is happening in places that it shouldn't. Look at this weapon map generator. Boss one attack orb. So we do have the katana deflection here, and for the EBP missile, guessing there's one there too, but I'm not sure. So so how much did the player sprite size bother you when you played, Alec? We're going to shrink the player sprite by about 25%, and the hitbox will be just a few pixels. I thought it was a little bit. I can't remember if we talked about that at the expo. Big. You thought it was big. A little big, definitely, and the sword felt unyieldy. We did a bunch of hitbox detection updates since you played. That should make it easier. Brad saw an issue where enemies could only take damage during certain frames. Yeah, and we fixed that. So that is a lot better than it was. Still looking for the object enemy 1 missile attack, but I don't see it here. Gotta check and see if it is potentially in the helper. Get object group. So obstacles, backgrounds. I don't know if I have projectiles on here. Oh, okay, enemy one attack. So that would explain why I'm allowed to hit it. But then the last thing I needed to check was should connect. Script weapon should connect. Yeah. Skycurser katana. If it's the Griffin special or the trail or the enemy one attack. Yeah, the enemy one attack can't connect with itself. Turbo. Okay. So object weapon. I think we can control it right here. Let's do it right here so that it's basically right next to the other one. Script object type arg0. Object, I think it's mini blast bullet. I'll verify that, and object get name. Let's just copy this guy. Okay, let me make sure I got this right because I'm not 100% sure that it is. Weapons, mini blast bullet, one word. There it is, and then the same thing with basically the boss attack orb and the mini blast bullet, and probably going to do the same thing with the shotgun blast bullet. So mini blast bullet, and then change this guy to boss one attack orb. And seeing how long this is getting, I'm kind of considering maybe changing this up a little bit so that we're operating off of a data structure list, maybe kind of like an array, instead of doing this big else if statement. But I don't think it's causing a lot of issues right now. So with that in mind, I'm going to keep moving forward here. I'm not sure that looking to see what we got here. I'll make sure my shotgun blast bullet is correct. Actually, before I write this in for the shotgun blast bullet, I'm just going to go ahead and test with the shotgun blast bullet and see if the shotgun blast bullet is actually the mini blast bullet. Off the top of my head, I don't remember, but it's a lot easier to check than to try to follow the stream here. The call stack. I think we're going to make some updates. The super trigger by quick button presses, almost like Honda's 100-hand punch. We currently only have one of the supers done as all three buttons at once.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Again, waiting for the EBP so I can shoot the EBP missile to see if I'm still connecting with it or not. Okay, here we are. Cool. That worked, and let's try it with... Okay, so the shotgun blast bullet is obviously connecting, but we did fix the mini blast bullet. So that was a quick way for us to test without having to do some extra crazy stuff. So we just need to make sure this guy is in here. let's change this up a little bit. Since these have the same after the ampersands, I'm going to group them together and remove one of them. And this is going to change to object, shotgun, blast, bullet. Make sure I said that right. Yep, shotgun, blast, bullets right there. And we got everything in parentheses, which now means I can save a little bit of code by removing this. And we're gonna have to do the same thing here and here. Not difficult. Or so that's correct. Let's change this to this and remove this. So basically what we're saying here is if the mini blast bullet is trying to connect with the object boss 1 attack orb, or the shotgun blast bullet is trying to connect with the boss attack orb, or the boss attack orb is trying to connect with the boss attack orb, then it shouldn't. We're trying to say do not connect. We're doing basically the exact same thing with the object enemy 1 attack, which is the EBP missile, the eyeball plane ghost missile that you see. Splatoon, oh yeah. Splatoon. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that on Twitch. Alright, here we go. Let's test. Sweet, look at that. Right through it. Perfect. I tried. Okay, that one is fixed. I think we're in a good spot there. One thing I do want to do is fast forward to the boss, and I noticed there was a bug with the boss where if I swung the katana connected with one of the orbs, that or at least a lot of the orbs would light up like I attacked them.
Skycurser.
So we're going to fast forward to the boss real quick. See if I can reproduce this or not. I got to a point where no peps came out. Something to do with the new way that I'm doing the story points. Don't allow those guys to come out when they should. Specifically when I fast forward it. So, okay, so I'm trying to make sure that when I swipe, good, only one of the orbs light up at a time. Really pumped about that. Okay, good. I'm basically going to call that good, and I'm going to check that off the list. I think that's just let's see if that's listed as an overall bug. Mode broken. I think that's just a level 1 bug. So Yep, got that fixed. When one orb gets attacked, all the orbs get the katana collision generated. I just proved that that's not the case. If katana connects with Necrostar before hotspot, should not cancel out. Okay, not worried about that. Boss flashes too frequently. Okay, let's fix the boss flash. That should also be in the same weapon collision script. And hit counter for the boss, and we always make the boss flash if we're hitting the boss with the orb, but something's wrong with so this is happening too frequently. This is what's causing the boss to flash too frequently. But I thought the script object is vulnerable. Should have prevented that for the boss. So let's see. Okay, so we're only preventing the boss from flashing whenever we set the boss to invulnerable. Catrius, what up? Okay, catching up on motion controls are good on this game. I think you're talking about Splatoon. Numeric cancer can see if you have an eye cancer. If you take people a picture of their eye and it is red, it's normal. If it's white, you have cancer behind your eye. Hi, a while ago. 12. What is this? A violent 2D arcade game. Kedri's awesome random facts. Kind of scary, actually. I know, right? Alec, you a Doom fan? You see the new one? Alright. So, the main thing is that we only set the boss to be object with which the weapon is colliding. So that is argument 1. That's good, because if it's argument 1, I have access to the hit counter. Well, let's look at the flash bool too, because apparently I have a script enemy flash bool. Here we go. If argument 0 is equal to object boss 1, I think this will fix this. Here it is. Object index. That should fix it. Hit counter. There we go, because there's the code that's supposed to prevent it from happening. I think that needed to be object index. So, let's check it out. Chris, why you say you're not sure what to think about the new Doom game? Okay, fast forward to boss. Again, we're going to get ourselves into a situation where all the pebs come out later. Not worried about it at all, because the player will never be able to. The player will never be able to actually activate time warp. Time warp is just a debugging tool. Didn't get it. Alright. That should have gotten it. So first of all, so argument 1 should be the enemy that's connecting with, and then hit counter. Not sure where that comes from. Where is that actually coming from? Okay.
Help me for 1 second.
Yeah, what's up? Alright. So hit counter is set to false. I think that is basically an incorrect way of setting hit counter, because I don't think it's used anywhere else. Let's check. Yep, just for the boss. This is all for the boss. And the only other place that I end up using it is, yep, right down there. So there's a better way to do this. I'm going to say hit counter is equal to 0. Let me see if that would be right. Flash. And hit counter is not equal 0. There, that's probably a better way to do it. Hit counter modulus 10 is equal to 0. So just set to false. Think about that for a sec, how it's coming through here. Oh, well, not equal 0 would be fine. Fan retouches, pumped up the color. Someone will make a mod. I want a Quake 1 HD remake. That would be killer. Yeah, that would be tight. Hit counter exists. Hit counter does not equal 0. And hit counter modulus 10. So I don't like the way I have this, so I think most of the time it's going to be true for all enemies, but this is not going to be correct for the boss. If it's the boss, and the boss has a hit counter, and the hit counter does not equal 0, I think we changed this around. So by default with the boss, it'll be false, which is fine. But then inside here, if hit counter is not equal to 0 and hit counter modulus 10 is equal to 0, then set it to true. I should call that flash bool instead of enemy bool. Much clearer, much easier to think about. Hit counter 0, set the hit counter to whatever is passed in. Flash boolean equals true, so most enemies will flash by default. If it's the boss, automatically set the boolean to false, so he won't flash by default unless there is a hit counter. The hit counter is not 0 and the hit counter is modulus 10. Well, the hit counter modulus 10 is equal to 0, then the flash bool equals true. Alright, let's try this again. Strafe, I know, man. Strafe is so important. It's like one of the most important things, especially when it came to Doom back in the day. I'm not too sure about it now with the new one. I saw a long preview too, Chris. Okay, fast forward again. Get to the boss. See if we fix this. No, he doesn't flash at all. Okay. Yeah, I know I've got that right, and technically I don't even like the idea that I'm passing a hit counter into this because I'm not using it anywhere else. There might have been a concept that I was going to use a hit counter later on. I'm going to remove it. But there's literally no reason to pass it in right here because I have access to it on argument 1 when we are talking about object boss 1. And so this is gone, that's gone. Now we just have argument 0 The other thing is, let's just say it like that, because we know the boss has hit counter. Hit counter is not equal to 0. Hit counter modulus 10 is equal to 0. Flash bool equals true. Play. I really want to get into the enemy 2 scripting if I got this right here.
Mission 1, death at dusk.
Fast forward. Come on, piece of crap.
Hey babe,
Hmm.
I've got both those forms filled out, and they're in the mailbox for tomorrow.
Cool.
Citation one.
Good. Awesome.
And hey, I remembered to take all of our clothes to the alterations today.
Okay.
Finally.
Arc0, object index, objects, boss 1, hit counters not equals 0. Arc0 dot hit counter modulus 10, hit dot hit counter, good. Then we can flash it. Well, the only thing I could think of is that we were returning. I mean, I think it should have worked the way it was, but I'm gonna try to do this here. Also, hit dot flashing, definitely not undefined there. Object is vulnerable. Oh, let's turn this from arg1 to hit, and that will still basically be the same as arg1. So arg1 is set to the object enemy. I mean, there are other places I'm doing that, but let's just put the hit in there and see if we get a different result.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Man, I cannot believe he just refuses to flash. It's got to be a problem with this script. Wondering if hit counter. I'm basically resetting hit counter if it gets greater than or equal to 100. Hit dot flashing, hit dot HP. Should flash. Let's output this. But let's also go in here and say This should reveal a problem. I'll do some debugging here. Okay, now we should see some, I'm looking for the compile window, and of course the compile window decided to disappear on me right when I was going into that. Yes.
Okay. We lost the link.
Show me the compile window.
We lost our guy. We didn't find
Here we go. This should tell us something. Testing. Blank. Okay. The hit counter is not incrementing as expected. That's the problem. Hit counter definitely should be incrementing. I'm wondering if the hit counter is getting reset every step. Sweet. Okay. That helps a lot, actually. This may be the problem right there, the fact that I didn't have object index right there. When you do an object get name, you basically have to put the object's index in there in order to do it correctly, so I'm just now noticing that that might have been the problem. Okay, let's try that. I got you, Chris. I see what you said there. I'm just trying to... I know I'm close to fixing it, so I'm keep working on it for a second.
She said that you might be going to the
Chris, there it is. There's the blink. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Chris, Alec just asked you a question. I had the same question, Alec. Burst City Studios. Brass City. Okay, got that bug. Nice. That's the benefit of doing some debugging. You can see exactly what it thinks it's doing. Okay, so let's cross that one off the list. Level 1. Okay. Now I want to look at level 2 scripting. And see what's on the docket for that. Oh, okay, so one of the things Dire Pep needs is deflectable katana. Let's write these down on the level 2 updates. Dire Peb projectile needs to be deflectable. Not a problem. We'll do that. Cars need to stop appearing in outbound lanes 3 seconds after first Peb appears. Okay. And total number of cars in outbound lanes. Cars in outbound lanes reduced by 25%. Okay. Okay. So I think I'm good with that. I'm going to take a bio break just for a minute, guys. Literally be back in 3 minutes. So I'll be right back. I'm laughing at the dialogue. Okay, back. Alright. So, level 2 scripting. I'm looking at the list here. I'm not going to worry about those 3 items I just wrote down because I just want to get some more enemies in here. So, let's write this down. We are in enemy 2 generator, which is under controllers and enemies. Enemy 2 generator, and we're on the step event, and we're right here. 42 seconds. Object index. And we're talking about, let's figure out what position this is going to be. These are febs floating in here. So let's go look at the script position helper for the enemy 2 generator. Level 2 Heli Wolf position helper, multi-level enemy 2 position helper. Alright, so this is saying a wave of 8 febs floating eyeballs appear. 4 from the top 1/3 of the screen, 4 from the bottom 1/3 of the screen. Chris, I'm guessing you mean kind of like in a square pattern they appear, not necessarily all 4 in a straight line top to bottom. Is that correct? I'm thinking that's correct. Wait just a second for a response. Sort of spread out. Okay, I'll just do it like this, and you tell me if you think it should change. 3 and 4, 2 and 5. Just looking at positions here. 1, 3, 4, and 6. 2 groups, some space in between. Cool. That's what I'll do. Okay, so we'll say I think this is probably going to be just about right. 1 and 3, 4 and 6. So let's try this. 3 and enemy 2. Whoops, I spelled that incorrectly, obviously. And then let's just do 42.5 because that should just be right after position 3 as well. I think that puts us in a good spot. Okay, I'm not going to test it. I'm going to add a few more. Wolf, heli projectile behavior. Heli projectile should hone in on the player, roughly following their movement, maybe a half-second delay. Projectile movement should be about half the speed it is. Currently, heli projectile knocked back by about half screen with the first katana blade hit. When it is knocked back, it should move at a higher speed and re-engages its honing behavior. On the second hit, the projectile will deflect the full screen distance. When projectile flying back, it can damage the heli and any other enemies on screen. Okay, still not going to worry about that right now because again, trying to get enemies. I will modify the behavior of the heli projectile very soon. Trigger a cluster. I'm reading the heli death sequence. Trigger a cluster of 4 small explosions. New explosion sprite and drive, along with a cluster of 3 meat explosions and the same metal shrapnel. Holy cow, that's going to be a big death sequence. Swap the heli sprite for the damaged heli sprite. Sweet. The damaged heli sprite travels down towards the street at a 45-degree angle. Love it, man. Moving at about that same speed as shrapnel. Should appear to be getting pulled down by gravity, so it should basically speed up as it's falling. When damaged, the heli sprite makes contact with the street. Trigger 3 to 4 ground explosions and 3 large explosions / shrapnel. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll get those updated for sure. We'll do those here. I'm going to basically add those to level 2 updates. They're going to be update heli projectile behavior, update heli explosion. And that's perfectly fine. And once I update that, it'll be the same for all of them. Okay, so new enemies. 4 roaches appear from top to bottom with around a half-second pause between each roach. Vertical spacing between roaches should be a quarter of the screen. Roaches enter the screen very quickly, are the fastest moving enemy so far. Each roach stops after traveling an eighth of the screen. After pausing there for a second, each roach then flies across the screen in a straight line. Okay. Their flight should be staggered based on when they come on screen, not all traveling across the screen at the same time. Easy. The goal of this attack formation is to give the player just enough time to see the roaches fly on the screen before they are a threat. Okay. Finally, roaches. New enemy. Let's bring it. Okay. Before I add roaches, let's just test level 2. Make sure those floating eyeballs look right. Let's go ahead and change this to push us straight to level 2 first. And hit play. So let's just make sure those floating eyeballs come in right after, basically right after the heli, the wolf heli comes on screen, and then we'll start on the roaches.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Boom. Okay, I am going to modify that slightly. Let's make the gap in between them a little bit longer. Let's just change it to 43.5, and let's make a new position helper because those were not quite exactly where I think they should be in my mind. Let's just modify that really quickly here. Enemies, position 2 helper. Let's just bring this guy all the way to the top. So we're going to create another position point here. Yeah, they look good. I'm going to modify where they come out just slightly though, Chris. 1A, 2A, 4A, 5A. Let's try that. I think that'll be better in my mind. And then 5 will be the position point helper, which is what we modify right here. Okay, let's try that again. We'll see this.
Mission 1. Death at dusk.
Yes. And I'll pull them back to 43 seconds so that there's not such a big gap in between those two rows. So I like that. I'm going to say that's probably going to be good and just keep moving here. The next enemy, new enemy, we pull in. We're going to have to add this as a helper to get object group. And think for a second. Okay, cool. Just going over some things in my head real quick. Enemy weapons, DS list add. Let's add this to the projectiles, specifically object, peb, dire, projectile. Okay, and then we've got a new enemy that's going to be coming in here. And this will be the object roach. I think that's exactly what it is. It lit up like it was. We'll verify that. I'm in the wrong spot. Go to enemies. Looking at level 2 enemies. Got the roach right there. Object roach. Perfect. So this one should be fairly easy to script out. And for now, I'm just going to add a Curser create event. I don't know much that's going to go in the create event. I will figure that out as we get moving here. The create event and the create action. This is our code. Game Maker creates the create event. We create the code in the create action. Specific frames of animation for the roach should be used at different times. Most of it's pretty obvious, but I'm here if you have questions. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I figured. I mean, obviously it's got to run across the screen, and then when it's done running across the screen, it needs to, turn around and fly, hop up and fly. Let's look at it. Sprite, enemies, level 2, roach. Let's look at the animation here. Can I view, modify mask, make larger, and then just kind of watch what the animation does so everybody can see? Okay, that makes sense. That pretty much makes sense, Chris. I mean, I'm seeing 0 through 2 will be the run across the screen. 3 through 5. There might be a problem with this animation. The problem that I'm potentially foreseeing, maybe, we'll see, is that the frame from here to here has movement up and down, and I may need that to be like, I know that that's basically showing me that it's going up through the air. Maybe that's just the final position it's in. And gotta follow Alec Roberts, man. Thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Glad you're in here, man, and glad we got to meet you. Or glad Chris specifically got to meet you at the Louisville Expo. That was awesome. So maybe this is just the last frame right before it spins around, and then it hovers for a second and then flies at the player. So that makes sense. I'll stub that out in a minute. Most of it will be in the step event. Let's hit OK here. This guy does inherit from the parent object base enemy, so that's good. So we'll add an event here. There will be a step event, and drop in a step action. Okay, so step event, let's think about this for a second. These guys are going to need a depth. They will obviously start at the bottom left of the screen. I think they're going to have basically two variables that kind of get determined because what's this script here say? 4 roaches appear. They're each a quarter of the screen apart. In terms of vertical spacing, there's a half-second pause between each. So they're each going to fly and attack at different times, but we need basically what the X and Y position is on create, but we also need the X and Y position on where they're going to stop at. And so that's something that's a little unique to this player, to this specific enemy, because it looks like we're basically just going to set where that roach is going to fly up to. So in the step event, first off, we'll say, well, let's go to the create event for a minute and say current action equals run. We'll call this an enumeration, and we'll say the different values are run, jump, turn, fly. So if the current action is run, and it is run by default, if current action is equal to run, then if image index is greater than or equal to 2, then the image index equals 0. Else if current action is equal to jump. See where I'm going with this. Turn, fly. The first time they show up, they aren't crawling across the ground. Oh, I didn't get that. I guess I just kept thinking of how they were showing up. Oh, they just appear from top to bottom. Got it. Easy. I guess I just automatically filled that in my mind. Okay, that makes sense. Third group of roaches appear. Okay. 16 roaches appear running across the street in 2 rows of 8. That's tight. Okay, so that's wave 6 later on. Okay. Not a problem. That's fine. That we'll just overwrite the current action so that it's the appropriate thing, and probably just be like fly, mostly. And there might be, I might need to call this hover. I'm actually probably going to do that. Hover and then attack. So I'll probably have one more of these, and it'll just be attack. So those are basically the 5 different states they can be in. And we'll just overwrite it for the very first set of guys. Cancel this. Don't want to get out of here yet. Let's edit. Let's look at this again. So jump is from 3 to 4. That's how I see it. If image index is greater than or equal to 4, image index equals 3. We'll also make sure image index less than or equal to 3, or less than or equal to 2, or image index greater than or equal to 4, then set it to 3. let it go basically between 3 and 4 the whole time. Yeah, that should take care of that. Image index less than or equal to. I'm thinking for a second there might be a smarter way to do this. I'm going to leave it alone in my head right now. Could get crazy for the sake of just a couple more, you know, lines of efficiency. Alright. 3 and 4, same. Nope. It might be 4 and 5. I'm thinking through how this exactly has to work because we don't want it to keep going back and forth between here and here. I don't think it'll look right. So I think it's got to go between 4 and 5 on the. Let me see this for a second. Okay.
Somewhat terrifyingly, however, the fish have been known to mistake human testicles for tree nuts. Somewhat terrifyingly?
I actually think there's got to be one more here based on what I see, and I think if it's jumping, its image index needs to remain at 3 based on what I can tell. Just trying to think how I have to program this and make this all look correct. So then there's like fly right. I'm just going to call it fly right, and I'm going to copy that stuff that I had a second ago. Actually, I can use this. Fly right. This will be less than equal to 3, greater than equal to 5, then set it to 4. So this is going back and forth between 4 and 5. Maybe they could crawl on the ground on the first attack, but stop really quickly to fly up into position. You should probably have him flying with the last few frames and over the 3 or so frames that he's upright, then go back to the last frames for him bursting forward. Yeah. So fly right, turn. Let's look at the turn here. Starts. So I see 4 and 5 as flying right. Turn starts at 6, goes through 9. Okay. Then 10, 11, 12 are hover. And then 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 13 through 17. Cool. That should take care of that. Perfect, perfect, perfect. This guy could be, should he be any different? Greater than or equal to 2, set it to 0. I think that's going to be right. I think I could do a switch case though, make this a little more efficient without going crazy. Switch, current action, case, run. Break, case, jump, break. Fly right, turn, hover, attack. Okay, got that. Love it, love it. I like it. Looks good. Alright. So we got the animation correct. Now we just got to figure out how and when we're going to tell him to move to his next position. Get that guy out of here. So I'm thinking there's probably 2 different types of roaches right now, and based on what the type is, they'll do different actions. So one type is a flying roach. This will be an enumeration as well. It can either be a flying roach or it can be a jumping roach. So the flying roach will just come flying in from the right. The jumping roach will come running in from the bottom and then jump up and then fly and attack. So based on that, I can tell this how to work. Okay, flying and jumping, that's where we'll put the code for everything to happen. I'm going to set the Y variable on the flying ones immediately. So that'll be set when the object gets created. I'll basically say direction equals 180, speed equals, I don't know, 4. If x is less than or equal to room width divided by, did I see 8 times 7? So that's an 1/8 of the way across screen from the right. If room width, if x is less than or equal to room width divided by 8 times 7, then speed equals 0. And I'm gonna have to have some controls here in order to make this work correctly.
Brad, Facebook is showing me an ad for starting potty training. Facebook, you know me too well. Step off.
If initial stop is equal to false, go there. Speed equals 0 and initial stop equals true. So let's make sure that variable makes it into the create action. False. If initial stop is equal to false, do that. Else. So, I mean, basically we could set the type right here. Type equals, or sorry, the current action. Current action equals hover, because it'll basically be moving, but it'll be hovering. Well, let me think about that. Let's put it in. Let's go ahead and put it in attack. And the other thing is, this attack may not be correct now that I'm thinking about it, because there's one frame where the attack is like super quick. So there might need to be like an attack speed frame. I know this sounds crazy, but I've got to control